Right. I think this is working. Okay, here's how I test it. This is so janky. And that's fine. Let's check it out. Okay, testing by doing a wave. This is how you do it. Yep, okay, cool. I think we're in business. Cool. Hey, boys. Back again. Let's do it again. All right, last time we read... What did we read last time? Should we change the color? Purple was last time. Let's change the color. What color should we do? Should we do red? Is that too ominous? Ooh. No, I don't like red. What about green? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm in a bit of a green mood. What does that mean? I'm sure that there's some psychoanalyst, maybe just a psycho out there somewhere that's going to tell me what the desire for green means. Anyway, g'day, guys. We're going to just record something else today. And now that I know that I am streaming, I can stop, like I'm looking at myself right now in the screen just below you, and it's really disconcerting looking at myself. So I'm going to minimize that. Hopefully, it's all working. I've got my Google up there. Yep, I've got Audacity over there. Yep, okay. Okay. And that means it's time to party. One last check of... It says that the connection's excellent. Sweet. All right. I have no idea. I can't, see comments or anything like that. Oh, wait, no, I can see comments down there. Right, okay, on my phone. Still figuring out the live. I've done live before on other channels, but it was ages ago. And so it's all... And for this one, obviously, I've chosen the most basic setup. Like on the screen, what do you see? You see, Google on one side with no page break. And then you see Audacity over here. I've got a fancy background in the, the little golden rain today, which is pretty cool. I don't know. I just wanted to fill the space. And then me, my mug is on screen as well, obviously. So you can see me. And so we can do this together. What are we doing today? Well, same thing we were doing yesterday. Last time we read, what did we read last time? The big, what's it called? The Big Trip Up Yonder. Let's go back and just quickly see, is that what it was called? I think it's called The Big Trip Up Yonder. He was in the 10 to 20 minute stories. Yeah. And it was down here. The Nightingale, the Big Trip Up Yonder. Yeah, by Kurt Vonnegut. That's what we read yesterday. And I listened to it again today, as a test listen. So I'm one of the three. I'm one of the three views on the entire video. On the video. So I went back and test listened it. I usually do a test listen. And yeah, it did not sound in any way, shape, or form like what it felt like recording it. And now you know what it's like based on yesterday's stream. You know what that's like. So now that you know the chaos, let's do more of that, where you guys get to see boys. By the way, if you're not one of my kids watching this in the future, I hope it's in the future. You shouldn't be watching it now because you're 6 and 3 years old and you're in bed asleep. So it's currently 10:56 p.m. This is a good time to get out. I'm feeling creative. Yeah, I like this time of night. It's like the sweet spot. Between now and midnight, some great stuff happens. After that, it goes downhill. It's an exponentially steep slope downhill. And if you're still out here at 1:30, things start to get a little bit weird. And if you're still here at 2:30, then it means that you're why are you bothering to sleep? You might as well take the day off work. But I do have work tomorrow. Still, yep, we're still at the point where it's tomorrow. Let's get into it and let's read something else. So boys, we made gingerbread. men tonight, except we ended up only making like 2 gingerbread men. Your mum, Mummy is the one that it was our idea on the weekend. I picked some ginger from the garden, didn't I? And we dehydrated it in the dehydrator, and then we powdered it, in the coffee grinder, and then that was what we made our gingerbread with. So that was pretty cool. Whenever we get to use something from the garden, obviously that's my jam, and also like to make jam. You know that. And if you know what my son's watching this, then you wouldn't know that yet. But just, I like gardening, food gardening in particular. So, yeah, we made the gingerbread. You guys were pretty happy to join in on that. That was awesome. And we had ordered for older son. What should I call you guys? Like, I don't want to like out your names without your permission, and I don't think you're old enough to give me that permission. You just say yes. So, older. I'll just say older and younger. Older. You decided last year that you wanted a Star Wars themed birthday party, which is obviously awesome. Nothing to do with your parents' influence at all. And so we bought these Timu like cookie cutters with Star Wars face shapes in them. So you like press it and then stamp in the face shape and then take it off. And it was ridiculously effective tonight. It's the first time we've used them. We didn't use them for your birthday. So that was pretty fun. Then we had a pretty successful dinner, and you guys took ages to go to sleep. We're under the assumption that Younger's daycare just lets kids sleep maybe like 8 hours a day. And so maybe that's something to do with it. That's sarcasm, by the way. But like, it does feel quite frustrating at times. But at the same time, I'd rather they give you the option of sleep than don't give you the option of sleep. Imagine that. That would be horrific. And older, you took even longer to go to sleep tonight. We had, some chats in bed while you were going to sleep, and we were listening to the Return of the Jedi audio drama. And you said you wanted to have it past the bit where they beat Jabba the Hutt because you said that it was quite distressing to have, like, you didn't use the word distress. You were like, I don't like it when Princess Leia's fighting Jabba the Hutt. And I was like, buddy, that is completely fine. And we talked about the fact that, like, maybe the audio drama is even more violent, like, and confronting than the movie, The Return of the Jedi. Yeah, and that I think that's pretty true. So yeah, but yeah, once you got to sleep, yeah, Mummy did a little workout in the living room, and I did a lazy version of a workout. I wouldn't call it even a workout. And then we just ranted to each other about the state of the world, and we just watched this thing called the Louis Theroux Manosphere documentary a couple of days ago on Netflix, and it was quite a terrifying experience as two parents of young boys. And like, obviously at my work, like, I meet a lot of people who kind of spout the latest trends on TikTok and Insta, and it brought it home though how real it could be maybe for us in the next decade. And it's a real can of worms watching that documentary, because you end up wanting to kind of run away. And I had to look away from the screen at some points because I was just like, oh, it's such a scam, the whole manosphere thing. And I know that because I was particularly susceptible to that mindset, or just a scammer's, like, the recipient of scams mindset as a teenager and as a young person in particular. I was just really susceptible to it. And so got duped multiple times, informally and formally, by scams. And it's so streamlined now. It's really easy for it to get away from you. It's terrifying. And we just want you guys to know that like, there's so many things we want to tell you, but future you, look, you're enough. You are more than enough. Stop thinking of yourself, if you are, and I know I catch myself thinking this way. I can't speak for your mother, but I can definitely say that we get caught up in absolutes all the time, especially not just when we're thinking about other people. Like, I feel like it's a very easy tendency to slip into. And just because it's easy doesn't mean it's wrong, but I'm just saying when it comes to yourself in particular, you've got to remember that, like, living with opinions about yourself that start with things like saying I always blah or I am blah, you're already starting to pigeonhole yourself. Look, you are enough because you are alive and you're a human and you're experiencing the world around yourself. You have people around you. No matter where you go, you will always have people that love you around you because you guys are amazing. And we always want to talk to you. Like, we're always keen for a chat if you ever want to chat with us. And if we're not around at the moment, for whatever reason, like we're somewhere else, or you're on holiday, or we're on holiday, or you've moved away, you guys always talk about how you want to move to Brisbane when you grow up and you're going to live together. But younger, you've also talked about the fact that you're going to stay at home forever. I'm cool with that, by the way. But if you don't want to, that's fine too. So wherever you are, whenever you are, just know that, yeah, we know that you're enough. We've known you since the second you were born, okay? Younger, I delivered you, like, not by choice, right? At home. We just didn't make it to the hospital. And I was right there when you were born as well, in the hospital, right? So you're more than enough. You are a whole world of possibility and just amazing, all right? So I just wish people had told me that in as flat-faced, like bald-faced a way when I was growing up, instead of telling me I was good at this and I was good at that and I was good at this. They just had to say, you're enough. Like, you'll get into different stuff and you'll want to do different things with your life and you want to speak to different people and go different places and all this stuff. And that's all fine. You just need to remember that everything's going to be fine. People love you. You don't need to, for example, sign up to someone's course when they say that whatever the latest trend is going to get you mega rich, or like get you all the chickies or whatever, or the boys or whatever it is you're into, right? And for example, you don't need to have perfect bone structure or to overcome your bad bone structure. That's what this documentary is about. You don't need to live in this weird contradictory world that people seem to live in this manosphere where, like, you're never good enough and that's good. Like, you don't have to think that way. If someone's told you to think that way, you can feel like you want to improve. Fuck yeah, of course you can. But stop pigeonholing yourself. And look, there's a saying that I've always gone by, for, like, not always, but like for the last 10 years or so, which I've loved. I'm just going to massacre the quote, but it's like, if you're invited to dinner and you can't see what's on the menu, then you are what everyone else is consuming, right? So, like, if you get invited to a chat group, or you get invited to a group, or you watch a YouTube video that leads you to a Patreon or a members group, or whatever the equivalent is in 2063, or whenever the heck you're watching this, and you all of a sudden go, like, I think this person can help me, and all they need is a monthly subscription, or all they need is a one-time fee, or they've got this free course and, like, it's free, it's like no pressure, but you know that there's probably a paywall coming at some point, or some kind of commitment, even time commitment. Your time is precious, bro. Like, don't waste it on someone who is promising you too much. If it sounds too good, it's probably too good to be true. Like, that's just how it is, you know. My dad used to tell me that in different ways. I didn't believe him. My mum, when I fell for a particularly well-known scam called Herbalife when I was like 18, 19, I signed up to be a Herbalife salesperson. Look that up. Make fun of me if you want. But, like, when I entered that multi-level marketing, i.e., pyramid scheme, then my mum is actually, I just moved out of home. Well, I just moved out of mum's house into dad's apartment, the spare one. Makes him sound rich. It makes it sound very la-di-da, but it didn't feel that way, especially because I had to patch the roof like once every 3 weeks for like 2 years. Anyway, uh, and I was broke as hell. And I found myself saying things like, if only I didn't have to eat, like life would be so much cheaper. Like, why has no one told me that it costs this much money to buy food? You know, like that's what I found myself saying. I'd budgeted like $10 a week, basically. This was in like 2006, 2007. And like, oh, far out. Look back on it now. I had all the will in the world though, and I wanted to make good. And I found this flyer in my mailbox one day, and that's literally all it took. Like, it was like, earn money from home as much as you want. And I was like, you know what? I would like to earn money from home. You know what? I don't want people telling me how much I can earn. I could earn like $1 bajillion. That's a real number. And so, yeah, anyway, I ended up falling for Herbalife, called my local Herbalife agents, which were just the next rung up on the pyramid scheme. And it was a South African couple, probably in their 50s, and we had multiple like phone calls where they like indoctrinated me basically and told me about all the riches and how I should believe in the product. And because I was good at sport, I should know, like, and it would be so easy for me to be like shooting fish in a barrel. And anyway, when I told my mom, your grandmother, that this is what I wanted to do, she was like, I could tell she wasn't into it, and she was like, but I was so like, Mom, like, this is it. This is the answer, like, and it was like a buy-in fee of something ridiculous for 2006. Like, it's probably somewhere between $400 and like $600 or $700, right? And I just came home one day, and she'd left the cash out the front in full. She never talked about it ever again. And at the time, I just, like, I was old enough to know, I was like, I should probably reflect on this moment a little bit, because she's given in so easily. Like, she's just given me everything I want. And I was like, okay. And then I realized that the paper that she'd put it in, like, she'd folded paper over it. It was like a wad of notes. More money than I'd had in my hands for a long time since winning like prize money in races and stuff. But like, it was just there. It was just money. And she'd folded this paper over the top of it. And then inside, it had a quote from, I think it's The Potato Factory, or like Bryce Courtney's book, The Potato Factory, or maybe it was the sequel to The Potato Factory, which was called Tomo and Hawk. That was a trilogy. I think the third one was called Solomon's Song. Anyway, The Potato Factory, and it's this guy called, I can't even remember what his name is. He's this stereotypically like Jewish crook fence, that fences stolen goods. But he's like fiscally wise in a very stereotypically Jewish ways, which is fucking terrible, but like incredible book at the same time. And its depiction of Australia, and anyway, all that stuff. And his saying that he always used to say would be, always leave a little salt on the bread, which, like, it took me a while in my kind of the way my brain worked to actually understand what that meant. But like, yeah, it basically means like, always take everything with a little grain of salt, similar to that saying, as in like, just leave a little bit of cynicism on the side there. Like, no matter how good it seems, just remember there's a drawback somewhere. Like, you've just got to find it. Such a cynical saying, but it is also like, just leave a little cynicism, leave a little healthy dose of skepticism on the side of this opportunity, or whatever you see happening in front of you that you see you want to get involved in. But also, like, money-wise, literally just put a little bit of money away. Did I do that? No, I spent all that money immediately on the cult, on the cult following of Herbalife, became a Herbalife person. Long story short, that lasted about 3 weeks, and then realized very quickly how it wasn't as easy to sell this stuff. Like, people didn't automatically seem to want it. And I'm a terrible salesperson because I can talk, but asking for money, I do not like doing that from a random stranger. It just seems, I'm always too like, gee, I don't think I'd like to be just approached by a stranger and told to give them money. I just probably wouldn't give them money if I could help it. And so, why would I make the world a more toxic place by asking other people for money? This is the kind of mentality that I still hold. I do not like conflict and I don't like asking for money. So, sorry if you've inherited any of that. I do hope you're a little bit more ruthless than me. The only thing that makes me feel like I need to go out and get money is obviously life, um, helping to provide for you guys and keep our place going. That's, maintain our, like, it is a feeling of necessity. I do not have like a yearning for, I don't have that smaug like dragon, like, I hoard stuff. Like, I'm a hoarder, I'm a terrible hoarder, but I've never had the ambition for money that has, I do have that, but like not enough to lead me to go out and like sell stuff door to door or do something out of my comfort zone unless I just really need to. And then I just got to dissociate and I've just got to categorize that as like it's something I got to do. So I just go and do it. I try not to think about it. And then I come back to my real life where I get to enjoy stuff like this, where I get to sit in a safely padded room. That's what this is. It's a padded room. I think about it all the time. I'm like, I literally go for fun into a padded room and speak into the void. Bizarre. Um, and I love talking to other people. Like I'm talking to you right now, but I also just love to sit. Like someone said to me, another teacher I used to work with, at my last full-time gig as a teacher, she said like, "Oh yeah, so you're," and she had a word for it. I can't remember. She had very trendy words for like my version of neurospiciness and neuroatypicalness. But she was talking about how like I was an introvert who used extroversion to charge my batch. Like, I would need time alone to charge my batteries, and then when I went out to be with people, I'd be like rah with people, like extremely extroverted seeming, but at the same time kind of silently screaming inside. And if that's kind of coming off in any way as relatable to anyone out there watching this, including obviously you boys, but anyone, first of all, sucks to be you. I know that feeling because it can have really cool stuff attached to it. It can also like send you down these death spirals of like bad thoughts and stuff like that, and just avoidance. Hey, I remembered water today. And what I also brought with me was this garden thermometer. I'm trying to like look at a camera. Hang on, I'll get the camera up so I can at least align it. So I brought it. So last night I was talking about like how hot it gets in here. It's already starting to like, I'm not sweaty, but I'm just like, oh man. Yeah, maybe a haircut. I hate, geez, I hate looking at myself. All right, okay. Okay, so I don't hate looking at myself, right? But I'm just saying like, it's weird looking at myself on camera when I'm used to being in here on my own. Like, I can look at myself in a mirror. I'm just saying, like, it's weird seeing all this. Right. So, okay. So when I first came in here, this is in Celsius. We're going to talk in Celsius because we're real people. Any Americans, whoever found this, or people that speak in Fahrenheit, I'm sorry. I apologize for who brought you up reading Fahrenheit. So like it was like 23 in here when I came in here like half an hour ago. And I definitely have never brought I've never brought a thermometer in. So this is actually pretty shocking. I'm looking at this for the first time. It's 34 degrees, bro. Like that's a hot summer's day. Humidity is rising. I have these moisture capturers. What are they called? What are they called? I keep these in here to try and make up for the fact that there's always moisture. There's my terrible, like that's my sweat in there that's vaporized into the air, evaporated, and has been caught by this. It's disgusting. I hope I don't spill it on the keyboard. Right, I like get new ones every couple of weeks. It's gross, right? But that's the reality of a recording booth. You got to deal with your airflow and your moisture content. So dehumidifier crystals or whatever you call them. And they're always trying to keep up, but they never do. So I'd get sweaty in here, and then I, chuck the fan on. I've charged the dodgy fan from Temu, and I've got the door here, obviously, so I'll just leave that open for a couple of minutes. Hopefully get it down. It's 34 degrees. Crikey. Okay, let's do this. So tonight we're going to find a story that's going to cheer me up after that conversation with my wife about the state of the world. We talked about, basically, we got into a bit of a doom and gloom spiral, which is a fun conversation to have, but it's never nice to, So I wouldn't be up for something like this story here, which is called Asleep in Armageddon, which I read a couple of months back. And I think I did it completely in almost a whisper, like this close. And I was also talking in an American accent, so I'm not going to mimic that. If you want to go see that, you go look at Asleep in Armageddon by Ray Bradbury. It's amazing. Right. But we'll have a look at some other stuff. Maybe we'll go to the, instead of looking at the Discover section, we'll go to let's do genre searches. Quirky, sci-fi, tragedy, war, fairy tales, romance, literary, horror, gothic, high school stories. Oh, that might be fun. Mystery. Truth is always a bit of a mixed bag. Sometimes there's really cool stuff in truth. The man that corrupted Hadleyburg. What is honesty if untested? Can we really know what we are willing to say before we attempt it with great opportunity to gain from deceit? A man can grow a naive pride in his own integrity. Hang on, I'm just gonna experiment with the levels here. Okay. I'm just raising the gain on the microphone, so you're probably going to hear this a bit louder now. A man can grow a naive pride in his own integrity if he has had neither the pressure nor the temptation to twist his tongue in service of a lie. So you're saying you can have these beliefs, but if someone actually puts it to the test, then that's when you really have to come up against it. In the corruption of Hadleyburg, a town known for being full of honest men and women crumbles when the citizens wake up to letters promising them thousands of dollars on the condition that they betray their neighbors. It is an Oh, no, see, that's a bit too in my head. The Blood of the Martyrs I've read before. Anathema by Alexander Kuprin. I already know that's going to be depressing. It's by him. Or maybe not. Maybe he writes some cheerful stuff, but I'm not going to risk it tonight. What does it say? Search the library. No, we're not going to do that. Okay. What about exploration? What about something that's like a new world? The Nightborn in the Abyss sounds really cheerful. Rocket Summer by Ray Bradbury. But if we want more wars, let's have them here where we can get at their sources before we can leap to the asteroids seeking our lost pride of race. Humanity assumed in advance the next several steps forward for quite some time. Neil Armstrong's giant leap was dreamed of for hundreds of years before coming to fruition. In From Earth to the Moon in Jules Verne, 1865, the unparalleled adventure of one Hans Pfaall, Edgar Allan Poe, The Man in the Moon, etc. Of course, A Journey to Mars has always been as clear a next leap as a second rung on a ladder, but with the journey, pardon me, mapped out so clearly, one might begin to hesitate at where it is all leading. As mankind prepares a trip to the moon, one man worries that mankind's ever-growing dominion and control of technology will lead to war and tragedy, as it always seems to. And in the end, William Stanley of Rocket Summer chooses to plant his heels in the ground in resistance to the idea of further exploration, but he finds himself alone in his desires. I mean, that's on point with what we're talking about tonight, standing your ground, I guess. 4,467 words is a lot for tonight. It's a weeknight, and I've got work in the morning. It seems like I want too much out of this. I'm looking for something that doesn't exist, so maybe I should just choose something. Quirky's always interesting. The Quirky Short Stories of History. The Man Who Could Imitate a Bee, read that. Johnny Pie and the Fool Killer. How long is that? I wish it told you the word count. 8,000. See, that's a bit much too. Cool picture, though. Look at that picture. Nice. And All the Earth a Grave. Really nice short story. Read that the other day. Great. A Friend of Napoleon. Oh, by the same guy who wrote The Man Who Could Imitate a Bee. And it says it's more wacky than The Man Who Could Imitate a Bee, but has a touching ending to seal it off. A touching ending sounds good. In it, a lonely wax museum worker must save his friends when the museum closes down. Oh, like the wax dummies. What's the quote from it? Stop, desecrators of Napoleon, stop. There still lives one Frenchman who loves the memories of his native land. There is still one patriot left. I, Jérôme Chibot, will save Napoleon. Maybe not, because I don't want to have to learn a whole bunch of French pronunciations tonight. A Reputation by Richard Connell. Same guy. A Reputation inspired the 1940s. It seems he wrote a lot of quirky stuff that the founder of the Library of Short Stories website likes. As quirky. A Reputation. It wasn't always like that. Funny how little interest people took in me when I only wanted to live. A Reputation inspired the 1941 drama Meet John Doe, but the two are mainly different stories. In A Reputation, Saunders Rook wants very badly to be as popular as the others of his club of liberal professionals, so he blurts out the first thing he can think of that will get him some attention. Unfortunately, he leaves himself with no choice but to stick by what he says. This satirical piece deeply criticizes society and the media and is well worth the read. How long is it? If it's less than 3,000, 5,000. Damn it. Okay, right. A Chameleon, A Reputation, The Last Word, The Battle of Washington Square, The Orator by Anton Chekhov. A small classic comedy. Small's good. 1,252 words, right? Bada bing, bada boom. I'm actually going to just let that happen. But at first I just need to go to the bathroom. Okay, I'll be back. Let me just get my head torch on, bro. Sons, not bro. I don't know. When you watch these, you're probably going to be quite surprised that I say things like bro. Maybe you're not going to be surprised I say bro. I feel weird saying bro. I feel like I'm too old to say bro. All right, I'll be back. All right. Okay. Righto. Oh, it's bizarre. I can see the video on my phone, and it's so far behind that I haven't even left to go to the bathroom yet. So that's weird. It's a strange feeling. It feels like I'm time traveling. Actually, that's kind of cool. Let's do that. Let's time travel. Right. Okay. So let's get set up. Zapuikin. Okay, Russian. Kirill Ivanovich. Maybe I should just give in and just use pronunciations that I would use, like instinctively. Maybe we should just do that. Stay in my comfort zone a little bit. Okay, right. How's that sounding? Stay in my comfort zone a little bit. Yep, cool. Right, so we will check out our effects, and we're going to put on as usual, our de-esser. I find it more effective than the de-esser Pro, just for what I use it for. The sound that comes out on like a phone speaker sounds better for me. Chuck it up to 66. That seemed to serve me pretty well last night. The mouth declicker. I'll try it on a 65. Last night was really, I listened back to it today and I was like, oh yeah, I'm pushing that D clicker, which is the mouth, the mouth sounds. Sorry about that. I should warn you before I do stuff like that. That blocks those out, but it was really pushing it to its limits. So, but like, I want people to know that this stuff is quite, I don't want it to sound AI. Like, I don't want to go out of my way to push the idea that I'm really going for perfection. I'm really just going for quantity. The quality is now, especially now that I'm live streaming, the quality is in the live feed, actually. Spending time with you guys creating it is kind of fun. I've been really pumped up all day about it, actually, because it's a new way for me to, I don't know, like it's given me a real kick to know or to hope that one day in the future you're going to watch this, not just the story. And maybe you won't even watch the stories anymore, listen to the stories anymore. Maybe you'll just watch me making the stories. I don't even know. But boys, like, yeah, it's just cool. And like I said last night, it's just a way for me to engage with you in a way that I wish I had more records of my dad, in ways like this. Right. Completely paranoid about people recording him when he was telling personal stories and stuff like that. Right. This is the orator. 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 Orator? How would you say orator? I'd say orator. I bet Americans say orator.
Orator.
Orator. No, orator. Okay, so you say it the same. Like the American equivalent of the same. I shouldn't have been so stereotypical and said that you'd say orator. Okay, right. So, let's do a little test. Hydration station. Let's do it. All the gear and no idea. Sorry. I'm too stuck. I'm set in my ways, right? You know, it's the real experience of seeing how I do stuff. Because it's mostly gross and involving bodily fluids like sweat down into moisture catcher. And actually, did that? Has the temperature come down? Yeah, we got 29 degrees. All right, so we brought it down 5 degrees just by having the door open for a little while. That explains why I don't feel so god-awful uncomfortable at the moment. All right, let's do a little test here. Welcome back to Boring Dad Sleep Stories. Today we're going to read The Orator by Anton Chekhov. It was translated from Russian by Constance Garnett and was published in 1897. Let's listen back to that. Welcome back to Boring Dad Sleep Stories. Today we're going to read The Orator by Anton Chekhov. It was translated from Russian by Constance Garnett and was published in 1897. Geez, my voice is a bit deeper than it was last night. Okay, right. Whatever. It was published in 1897. And just a quick reminder that this... Should I say it's like a reminder? It was published in 1897. And as always, just reminding you this channel in its entirety is dedicated to my two sons, who are currently 6 and 3 years old, are asleep in bed while I record this late at night at 11:30 p.m. And I hope that they/you enjoy this wherever you are and whenever you are. We love you boys so much. Let's just get into it. Love you boys so much. One fine morning, the collegiate assessor, Kirill Ivanovich Babilonov. Nah, I don't like the pronunciation of that. We love you boys so much. Avanti. We love you boys so much. Avanti. One fine morning, the collegiate assessor, Kirill Ivanovich Bublinov, who had died of the two afflictions so widely spread in our country, a bad wife and alcoholism, was being buried. As the funeral procession set off from the church to the cemetery, one of the deceased's colleagues, called Poplavsky, got into a cab and galloped off to find a friend, one Grigory Petrovich Zapuikin, a man who, though still young, had acquired considerable popularity. No, the desk clicked. I don't know why this desk clicks like that. It's so freaking annoying. A man who, though still young, had acquired... Okay, no, I've just got to change this view now to multi-view. That way I can see the waveform, or the spectrogram. Or... Petrovich Zapuikin. So if I do it just before the breath, then I can do the breath again, and it blends it a bit better. Petrovich Zapuikin. A man who, though still young, had acquired considerable popularity. Sorry, something's happening. There's stuff that, like, I'll pick up just by knowing what it sounds like afterwards from recording so many times. So, like, if I hear a gurgle in my throat, usually that'll be picked up by the mic. So I have to kind of take these things into account. All right. Let's go. Oh, gosh. Okay. I'm going to try and swear less than last night as well. It's not going to fucking work, but... Grigory Petrovich Zapuikin. A man who, though still... Grigory Petrovich Zapuikin. A man who, though still young, had acquired considerable... Petrovich Zapuikin. A man who, though still young, had acquired considerable popularity. Zapuikin, as many of my readers are aware, possesses a rare talent for impromptu speechifying at weddings, jubilees, and funerals. He can speak whenever he likes, in his sleep, on an empty stomach, dead drunk, or in a high fever. His words flow smoothly and evenly, like water out of a pipe, and in abundance. There are far more moving words in his oratorical dictionary than there are beetles in any restaurant. He always speaks eloquently and at great length, so much so that, on some occasions, particularly at merchants' weddings, they have to resort to assistance from the police to stop him. I have come for you, old man. Wait, how old? What's Poplavsky's deal? Oh, he's just a colleague of the deceased, not diseased. Deceased. Okay, save it as I go. Good habits. To stop him. I have come for you, old man, began Poplavsky. Why does he have to sound like an English... Why do all my characters sound like English gentlemen? I've come for you, old man. I despair at, like, this inherent bias I have towards this because of your granddad. Okay, right. Right. Assistance from the police. I'm going to try and just be just do characterless characters. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're all going to sound kind of the same is the idea. Assistance from the police to stop him. I have come for you, old man, began Poplavsky, finding him at home. Put on your hat and coat this minute and come along. One of our fellows is dead. We are just sending him off to the other world, so you must do a bit of palavering by the way of farewell to him. You are our only hope. Help me, Obi-Wan. Okay. Did I just stop it so I could say that? Yes, I did. Well to him. You are our only hope. You are our... Of palavering by the way of farewell to him. You are our only hope. If it had been one of the smaller fry, it would not have been worth troubling you, but you see, it's the secretary. A pillar of the office, in a sense. It's awkward for such a whopper to be buried without a speech. Oh, the secretary, yawned Zapuikin. You mean the drunken one? Yes. There will be pancakes, a lunch. You'll get your cab fare. Come along, dear chap. You spout out some rigmarole like a regular Cicero at the grave, and what gratitude you will earn. Zapuikin readily agreed. He ruffled up his hair, cast a shade of melancholy over his face, and went out into the street with Poplavsky. Now, cast a shade of melancholy over his face. Cast a shade of melancholy over his face. And went out into the street with Poplavsky. I know your secretary. What the hell was that? Is that my stomach? Into the street with Poplavsky. I know your secretary, he said as he got into the cab. A cunning rogue and a beast. The kingdom of heaven be his, such as you don't often come across. Come, Grisha, it is not the thing to abuse the dead. Of course not. Aut mortuis nihil bene. But he was still a rascal. I read that so awkwardly because I'm like, oh no, oh crap. We've got Latin. I repeat, we have Latin. Okay. Let's hope that I can... Bene means, does that mean good? Of the dead, nothing but good is to be said. It even rhymes. That's great. Okay, right. How do I pronounce your... Okay. Nah, maybe I should just make it mortuis. I don't know this. Nil nisi bonum. Can I put this into a Google Translate? Is there a Latin for Google Translate? It's a dead language. This is not fair. All right, okay, hang on. Translate from Latin. Oh, yeah.
Aut mortui nihil bene.
Aut mortui nihil bene.
Aut mortui nihil bene.
Aut mortui nihil bene. Do you say the nil or do you say ni?
Aut mortui nihil bene.
Yeah. Okay. How did I say it? Aut mortuis nihil bene. Aut mortuis nihil bene. I mean, come on, give the guy a break. That was me 3 minutes ago. I'm a learned man now. I know so much. It is not the thing to abuse the dead. Of course. Aut. Did he say aut? Oh, how did he say it again? Oh, no.
Aut mortui nihil bene.
Aut mortui nihil bene. Nihil bene. Aut mortui. I'm sorry, if you're like Italian or speak a language of love and you understand how much I'm butchering this, I apologize. I'm sorry. It is not the thing to abuse the dead. Of course. Not. Damn it, read the words. The thing to abuse the dead. Of course not. Aut mortui nihil bene. But he was. Damn it. But he. Of course not. Aut mortui nihil bene. But he. But still he was a rascal. Ah! But. Of course not. Aut mortuis nihil bene. But still he was a rascal. The friends overtook the funeral procession and joined it. The coffin was borne along so slowly that before they reached the cemetery, they were able 3 times to drop into a tavern and imbibe a little to the health of the departed. In the cemetery came the service by the graveside. The mother-in-law, the wife, and the sister-in-law, in obedience to custom, shed many tears. When the coffin was being lowered into the grave, the wife even shrieked, "Let me go with him," but did not follow her husband into the grave, probably recollecting her pension. Oh, come on. Boys, I don't support this view of women who just want money. Right? If your mum died, I'd want money. No, just kidding. Like, why does it have to be just women that... Anyway. Look, they don't explicitly say that she's selfish, but they are implicitly stating, anyway, right. But now, when you're watching, you probably know my views on this. Anyway, right. Probably recollecting her pension. Waiting till everything was quiet again, Zapoikin stepped forward, turned his eyes on all present, and began. Turned his eyes on all present, and began. Sorry, you probably can't hear that, but the wind has just really picked up. Can you hear it now? I'll give it like 30 seconds. I mean, it doesn't really affect it. It will to me when I listen to it, but most people don't seem to notice it except me. Okay, what's the temperature at? It's back up to 30 degrees. So I'll just give it a little blast with the fan while we're at it. Let's just take a breath. This is a Poikin guy. I mean, I think this story so far is quite hilarious. Oh wait, how does this thing turn on? Okay. There we go. Blast it. Oh yeah. That is better. Okay. Sorry, I forgot for a second I was live streaming there. To myself. To you guys. I forgot. Now, the danger is now that I can sit relatively in the same place. I've got a special microphone. We'll talk about it another day. I love this thing. This is called, I keep forgetting where I'm supposed to look. There. This thing is called a Lewitt. Lewitt is the brand, and Ray is the microphone model or whatever. And it has this really special thing which you can't see. It can tell how far away I am, and it should compensate for how far away I am and turn the volume up and down on the microphone, which is really cool and makes it more of a beginner's microphone, I suppose, because you don't have to worry about this thing called the proximity effect, which you can get anyway. Like if I go really close and I talk to you like this, then that's way too close, isn't it? Okay, but it minimizes that as well. And so when I go further away, the volume should stay the same. I shouldn't have to talk any louder. You will hear a slight, more echoiness, but I'm getting too caught up into it anyway. The danger of coming back to recording, especially mid-sentence, I really should go back, is it sounds so different that it's jarring. Like something will have changed in my voice. I'll be too deep. Or the water that I just drank will clear my throat out too much, and you will just be able to tell the difference. So really I should start back there. Probably recollecting her pension. Well, okay, right. I think I'll put a little pause in here anyway. Probably recollecting her pension. Waiting till everything was quiet again, Zapoikin stepped forward, turned his eyes on all present, and began. Now I have to do he's making a speech, so he's going to ham it up. I think he's a pretty hammy guy, and he's had how many times has he had a drink? What does it say? 3 times to drop into a tavern and imbibe a little to that. So they've had at least 3 drinks, right? Which could be anywhere between 1 and 3 to 5 standard drinks each, if we're going to get all technical about it. This guy is pretty happy tipsy, where he can just talk about anything for any length of time. I can relate. So he's having a good time. He's loose and he's loving life. Okay, so we're up to this part of the story where, okay, he's going to make the speech. Zapoikin stepped forward, turned his eyes on all present, and began. Okay, that means we need to get, I'm not going to say we have to pretend to be drunk. That would be too far, but we just have to be loosey-goosey. All right, let's do this. It began. Can I believe my eyes and ears? Is it not a terrible dream, this grave, these tear-stained faces, these moans and lamentations? Alas, it is not a dream, and our eyes do not deceive us. He whom we have only so lately seen, so full of courage, so youthfully fresh and pure, who so lately before our eyes, like an unwearying bee, bore his honey to the common hive of the welfare of the state, he who, he is now, wait, shit. He is now, no, it's not the right word, is it? God, when did I last pause? Somewhere here. Gosh darn it. Gosh darn it. I don't say gosh darn it. I can't remember.
Youthfully fresh and pure.
Okay, I'm going to save it because I like this vibe.
Youthfully fresh and pure.
Who so lately before our eyes, like an unwearying bee, bore his honey to the common hive of the welfare of the state. He is turned now to dust, to inanimate mirage. Inexorable death has laid his bony hand upon him at the time when, in spite of his bowed age, he was still full of the bloom of strength and radiant hopes, an irremediable loss. Who will fill his place for us? Good government servants we have many, but Prokofy Osipich was unique. To the depths of his soul, he was devoted to his honest duty. He did not spare his strength, but worked late at night and was disinterested, impervious to bribes. How he despised those who, to the detriment of the public interest, sought to corrupt him, who, by the seductive goods of this life, strove to draw him to betray his duty. Yes, before our eyes, Prokofy Osipich. I can't say his name right consistently. What did I say last time? Like, that's the right way. Whatever I said before is the right way.
Worked late at night and was disinterested, impervious to bribes.
Okay, so it's before that.
Of many. But Prokofy Osipich was...
Prokofy Osipich. Prokofy Osipich. Okay, let's go with it. Let's do it. All right. Oh, dear.
Strove to draw him to betray his duty.
Now where am I? To betray his duty. All right, okay.
Strove to draw him to betray his duty.
Yes. Before our eyes, Prokofy Osipich would divide his small salary between his poorer colleagues, and you have just heard yourselves the lamentations of the widows and orphans who lived upon his alms. Devoted to good works and his official duty, he gave up the joys of this life and even renounced the happiness of domestic existence, as you are aware. To the end of his days, he was a bachelor. And who will replace him? Oh, wait, no, let's give a little pause there. This guy's like hamming it up. This is the hammiest speech. This guy's covered in pork. That's how hammy this speech is. This is something that I would have read out to a crowd when I was like, I don't know, 19.
Days. He was a bachelor.
La 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 la.
Days.
I don't like the way that I've said that. I think he needs to be more like incredulous that he was a bachelor. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Before our eyes, Prokofy Osipich would divide his small salary between his poorer colleagues, and you have just heard yourselves the lamentations of the widows and orphans who lived upon his alms. Devoted to good works and his official duty, he gave up the joys of this life and even renounced the happiness of domestic existence, as you are aware. To the end of his days, he was a bachelor.
Okay.
His days,
I might leave it.
he was a bachelor.
And who will replace him as a comrade? I can see now the kindly, shaven face turns to us with a gentle smile. I can hear now his soft, friendly voice. Oh, peace to thine ashes, Prokofy Osipich. Rest, honest, noble toiler. Zapoykin.
Noble toiler.
Zapoykin continued while his listeners began whispering together. His speech pleased everyone and drew some tears, but a good many things in it seemed strange. In the first place, they could not make out why the orator called the deceased Prokofy Osipich. when his name was Kirill Ivanovich. In the second, everyone knew that the deceased had spent his whole life quarreling with his lawful wife, and so consequently would not be called a bachelor. In the third, he had a thick red beard, and had never been known to shave, and so no one could understand why the orator spoke of his shaven face. The listeners were perplexed. They glanced at each other and shrugged their shoulders. Prokofy Osipich, continued the orator. Orator? Orator?
Each other.
What am I?
And shrugged their shoulders.
What are we all? I know, okay, right, it's getting late. I'm getting to the point now where after midnight, it's 11:52. After midnight, things go pretty far downhill pretty quickly for me. The coffee starts to wear off, so, all right.
Each other. And shrugged their shoulders.
Prokofy Osipich, continued the orator, looking with an air of inspiration into the grave. Your face was plain, even hideous. You were morose and austere. This guy's a prick. This guy's so mean. Because he doesn't Wow. Speaking ill of the dead, indeed. All right, okay.
Inspiration into the grave. Air of inspiration into the grave.
Your face was plain, even hideous. You were morose and austere. But we all know that under that outer husk there beat an honest, friendly heart. Soon the listeners began to observe something strange in the orator himself. He gazed at one point, shifted about uneasily, and began to shrug his shoulders too. All at once,
Began to shrug his shoulders too.
all at once, he ceased speaking, and gaping with astonishment turned to Poplavsky. I say, he's alive, he said, staring with horror. Who's alive? Why, Prokofy Osipich, there he stands by that tombstone. He never died. It's Kirill Ivanovich who's dead. But you told me yourself your secretary was dead. Kirill Ivanovich was our secretary. Oh, you've muddled it, you queer fish. Prokofy Osipich was our secretary before. That's true, but 2 years ago he was transferred to the 2nd Division as head clerk. How the devil is one to tell? Why are you stopping? Go on. It's awkward. Zapoikin turned to the grave, and with the same eloquence, continued his interrupted speech. Prokofy Osipich, and oh, bugger. The chair clicked. This is so cool. I love this story.
And with the same eloquence.
Oh no, let's just...
Go on. It's awkward.
Zapoikin turned to the grave, and with the same eloquence, continued his interrupted speech. Prokofy Osipich, an old clerk with a clean-shaven face, was in fact standing by a tombstone. He looked at the orator and frowned angrily. Well, you have put your foot into it, haven't you? Laughed his fellow clerks as they returned from the funeral with Zapoikin. Burying a man alive. Is that too fake? That's pretty fake. I mean, it was fake.
And frowned angrily.
Well, you have put your foot into it, haven't you? Laughed his fellow clerks as they returned from the funeral with Zapoikin. Burying a man alive? It's unpleasant, young man, grumbled Prokofy Osipich. Prokofy.
Burying a man alive?
That's a bit loud. It's unpleasant, young man, grumbled Prokofy Osipich. Your speech may be all right for a dead man, but in reference to a living one, it is nothing but sarcasm. Upon my soul, what have you been saying? Disinterested, incorruptible, won't take bribes? Pah, such things can only be said of the living in sarcasm. And no one asked you, sir, to expatiate on my face. Plain, hideous. So be it. But why exhibit my countenance in that public way? It's insulting.
Public way. It's insulting.
The end. And boys, that's exactly why you need to get your story straight before you get up to speak. There's not much hidden message in this. It's pretty clear. Oh man, that is so funny. Boys, I hope you had as good a time listening to that as I did reading it, and I've had an amazing time discovering it at the same time that you have as well. I'd never read that before. In fact, a lot of the texts that we read here on the channel, this is my first pass at them. So I get to experience them at the same time you do. I hope you like that. Love you, boys. So much. Okay. This is going to sound corny, but boys, every time I read, or every time I say that at the end, or at the end of an intro about how much I love you, I do get a little lump in my throat. Not because I like myself saying it. I'd like to hope that's not why I'd get a lump in my throat, but because I think of you. Yeah, I just love you so much. Anyway, enough for now. What we're going to do is we're going to quickly save that. Now, this is the boring bit, but I've tried to make it a little bit more interesting than last time, the orator roar. Okay, the project was not saved. What? Please try again and select an original name. No, I'm just going to save it. Okay, yeah, we're good. Okay, cool. We're going to just do a ACX check, which checks the sound quality as according to Audible standards. Audible, the platform for audiobooks. The peak level's too high. I think I clipped it there. Yeah, I did. But the average sound, the RMS, is too quiet, and the noise floor is minus 71.9. Pardon me. Minus 71.96, which is better than... Oh, is that better than last night? I can't remember. But we're going to improve it anyway. Because we can! Okay, right. So you can't see what's coming up, but I'm doing the filter. It's applying a filter curve. EQ, now I've got the macro running. It's normalizing the peak loudness. It's applying the limiter, removing the DC and offset limitizer, whatever it's called. And that's it. Now it will meet the ACX standards, which is good. We like that. That's really good, mate. Alrighty. Oh, whoops. That was the wrong thing to do. Alright. Okay, yeah, that's it there. Alright. Yep, that's it there now. And let's do the ACX check properly this time. And it's at 3.6, perfect. For peak level, 3.6 minus 3.6 decibels, which is a pass. It is 19.43 RMS decibels of RMS, and that's a pass. And it's got a noise floor of 61.33. So that actually wouldn't pass. It's much louder in here than it was last night. Interesting. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get a noise sample of the sound floor, as in something between when I'm talking. We're going to go to noise removal and repair, noise reduction, get noise profile, select all, control R for repeat, and now it's applying the noise reduction. Now I know that you can't see any of this stuff, and that's fine, but it's okay. In a second, we're going to start making our thumbnail. And tonight I've done a little thing so that you can see what I'm actually doing tonight with the thumbnail. Right, so... Okay, I think it's done the noise floor adjustment, and now it's minus 67. 67, isn't that what the kids... don't worry, look it up. It was a thing in 2025 and 2026. I'm glad it's probably over by now. I hope it's over by now. Maybe you're listening to this so far in the future that you have kids or watching this, and like maybe 6, 7 has come back, you know? God, I hope not. Although I don't really have much skin in the game. It's just annoying when I'm teaching. All right.
Do. I hope you like that. Love you, boys. So much.
Okay, alright. So next, we'll listen to the start. What is going on at the start? Look at all this noise. What is this? Oh, dear.
Welcome back to...
Oh, okay, it's just me having a chuckle. Right, well, what I'll do there is... there are so many things I could do. I might just crop it. So I'll get all of it. I'll join everything together. Double check it's all joined together. Yep. And I'm just literally going to get rid of it because I can. It's not like we're doing audible stuff here. I don't have to leave 1.5 to 2 seconds or something like that after, before and after every track. Get rid of that. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, let's try this now.
Welcome back to Boring Dad Sleep Stories.
That'll do it.
Today we're going to read The Orator by Anton Chekhov. It was translated from Russian by Constance Garnett and was published in 1890.
I don't like the length of that pause. I know I'm being picky there, but...
Russian by Constance Garnett and was published in 1897. And as always, just reminding you this channel in it...
Let's get...
97. And as always, just reminding you this channel in its entirety is dedicated to my two sons, who are currently 6 and 3 years old, are asleep in bed while I record this late at night at 11:30 p.m. And I hope that they/you enjoy this wherever you are and whenever you are. We love you, boys. So much. Avanti.
I might actually listen to it, just because there are a couple of pronunciations there that have really thrown me off. So when I tend to struggle with pronunciations or anything that sets me out of my comfort zone, I tend to make a lot of mistakes. I know for a fact that last night I made mistakes. Luckily, these are public domain, right? And the authors aren't going to get cranky at me. And it's really all about me reading to you, right, boys? But I do like to get it right when I can. And it's not too late to chuck in a couple of amendments to the text. So let's just have a listen. And it's really short. Like we've got like 11 minutes left of it. So we got the time. I want to be out of here before 12:40. It's now 12:04. So let's do this.
One fine morning, the collegiate assessor, Kirill Ivanovich. One fine morning, the collegiate assessor, Kirill Ivanovich Bublin.
There's something going on there. What is happening?
Morning,
Like that little click?
Morning,
Little rattle. Okay, so to do that, to get rid of that, it's in a gap. So we're going to do punch copy and punch paste, which you don't need to know much about at this point, but you just need to know that I'm going to fix that right now by doing this, bada bing, bada boom, replacing it with a piece of empty space, sound space, that is not going to sacrifice the quality.
One fine morning, the collegiate assessor, Kirill Ivanovich Bublinov, who had died of the two afflictions so widely spread in our country, a bad wife and alcoholism, was being buried. As the funeral procession set off from the church to the cemetery, one of the deceased's colleagues called Poplat.
What's going on back there? There's a bit of a sound artifact here.
As
It's just another little click. Okay, we can replace that.
As the funeral procession set off from the church to the cemetery, one of the deceased's colleagues, called Poplavsky, got into a cab and galloped off to find a friend, one Grigory Petrovich Zapuikin, a man who, though still young, had acquired considerable popularity. Zapuikin, as many of my readers are aware, possesses a rare talent for impromptu speechifying at weddings, jubilees, and funerals. He can
Artifacts, just a little click.
jubilees and funerals.
Tiny. No one's going to even notice, but how will they know? They're going to find out. That's a meme from back in my day, i.e. now. Even now it's old, actually. I love it.
Weddings, jubilees, and funerals. He can speak whenever he likes, in his sleep, on an empty stomach, dead drunk, or in a high fever.
I'm going to leave those
His
artifacts.
words flow smoothly and evenly, like water out of a pipe, and in abundance. There are far more moving words in his oratorical dictionary than there are beetles in any restaurant. He always speaks eloquently and at great length, so much so that, on some occasions, particularly at merchants' weddings, they have to resort to assistance from the police to stop him. "I have come for you, old man," began Poplavsky, finding him at home. "Put on your hat and coat this minute and come along. One of our fellows is dead. We are just sending him off to the other world, so you must do a bit of palavering by the way of farewell to him. You are our only hope. If it had been one of the smaller fry, it would not have been worth troubling you, but..."
Something wrong with the pauses there.
"By the way of farewell to him. You..."
Yes, that's too long. That's what it is. I mean, to be fair, I had to like cut in there, so that's why that is.
"Well to him. You are our only hope.
It's better.
If it had been one of the smaller fry, it would not have been worth troubling you, but you see, it's the secretary. A pillar of the office, in a sense. It's awkward for such a whopper to be buried without a speech." "Oh, the secretary," yawned Zapoikin. "You mean the drunken one?"
Fun fact, most of the yawns you hear when I'm narrating are real yawns because at this time of night... are not hard to conjure up, I'll put it that way. So I can conjure up, like literally if I see the word yawn coming up ahead, because I'm always trying to read like a sentence in advance, at least. Yeah, it's pretty easy to do. A yawn. Okay.
You mean the drunken one?
The drunken one.
Yes. There will be pancakes, a lunch. You'll get your cab fare. Come.
Artifact, get rid of it.
Your cab fare. Come along, dear chap. You spout out some rigmarole like a regular Cicero at the grave, and what gratitude you will earn.
Sound artifacts.
You will earn. Zapoikin readily agreed. He ruffled up his hair, cast a shade of melancholy over his face, and went out into the street with Poplavsky. "I know your secretary," he said as he got into the cab. "A cunning rogue and a beast. The king..."
So it all comes home to roost for him because, like, yeah, he doesn't like this guy. So he uses the opportunity to passive-aggressively go after him because he can't fight back. and then he and then he can't defend himself against it when the guy's alive. This is so cool. It's funny. It's so funny. He's really put his foot in this one. I like it. They're never going to forget as well. Like, it's a small village by the sounds of it. Like, it's a small town. Everyone seems to know everyone, at least from work. So, I mean, he's literally never going to live this down. So, brilliant.
"A cunning rogue and a beast. The kingdom of heaven be his, such as you don't often come across."
This is why, boys, you should always say nice things about people by default. You know what I mean? Like, there's just no need for negativity. I'm not saying this is going to happen to you. But, you know, there are smaller equivalents of this that can happen to you. Like the amount of times that I've said something about someone that isn't even hurtful, like insulting. It's more pitying of their situation. Like, I'm not applying, like, niceness to the situation. I'm being nasty in a way of just like treating them like a child without them being there, speaking about them like they're children. It's not nice.
"Don't often come across. Come, Grisha, it is not the thing to abuse the dead."
Grisha.
"Of course not. Aut mortui nil bene. But still, he was a rascal."
That was better than I thought it would be, that Latin. Not great. Okay, right.
Neil Ben.
Right, here we go. Okay, so let's just have a little look at some of these sound artifacts. I want to just double check these. I'm so tired. Okay, we got to get this done before we go to bed.
To abuse the dead. Of course.
Yeah, we can get rid of that. And I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this sound. It'll be a click.
Out.
Yeah, it's just a little mouth click. All right.
Abuse the dead. Of course not. Out mortu nil bene. But still, he was a rascal. The friends overtook the funeral procession
Good pause.
and joined it. The coffin was borne along so slowly that before they reached the cemetery, they were able 3 times to drop into a tavern and imbibe a little to the health of the departed. In the cemetery came the service by the graveside. The mother-in-law, the wife, and the sister-in-law, in obedience to custom, shed many tears. When the coffin was being lowered into the grave, the wife even shrieked, "Let me go with him," but did not follow her husband into the grave, probably recollecting her pension.
So mean.
Waiting till everything was quiet again, Zapoikin stepped forward, turned his eyes on all present, and began.
Okay, let's hear it.
Can I believe my eyes and ears? Is it not a terrible dream?
Artifacts.
Is it not a terrible dream, this grave, these tear-stained faces, these moans and lamentations? Alas, it is not a dream, and our eyes do not deceive us. He whom we have only so lately seen, so full of courage, so youthfully fresh and pure, who so lately before our eyes, like an unwearying bee, bore his honey to the common hive of the welfare of the state. He is turned now to dust, to inanimate mirage. Inexorable death has laid his bony hand upon him at the time when, in spite of his bowed age, he was still full of the bloom of strength and radiant hopes, an irremediable loss. Who will fill his place for us? Good government servants we have.
It's so passive-aggressive. Like if you... it's almost like a skit.
Loss. Who will fill his place for us?
It's satire. Like it's workplace satire. Imagine writing... Oh no! What's just happened? Have I gone offline? No, I'm still streaming. Something just happened. Okay, the power might go off, fellas. I'm just going to save this before anything else happens. Something happened there. Like my whole screen went off. I hope this is still working for you. Okay, right. Let's go on. It's just a message for me to hurry up.
An irremediable loss. Who will fill his place for us?
We're just doing some quick mastering and editing.
Good government servants we have.
Then we're going to
many,
upload it and make the thumbnail.
But Prokofy Osipich was unique. To the depths of his soul, he was devoted to his honest duty. He did not spare his strength, but worked late at night and was disinterested, impervious to bribes. How he despised those who, to the detriment of the public interest, sought to corrupt him, who, by the seductive goods of this life, strove to draw him to betray his duty. Yes, before our eyes, Prokofy Osipich would divide his small salary
between his poorer colleagues. And you have just heard yourselves the lamentations of the
widows and orphans who lived upon his alms. Devoted to good works and his official duty, he gave up the joys of this life and even renounced the happiness of domestic existence, as you are aware. To the end of his days, he was a bachelor. And who will replace him as a comrade?
Okay, a little breath there, which is obviously an artifact of the switchover in the punch and roll. Okay.
Days. He was a bachelor. And who will replace him as a comrade? I can see now the kindly, shaven face turned to us with a gentle smile. I can hear now his soft, friendly voice. Oh, peace to thine ashes, Prokofy Osipich.
There's a tiny click here. We don't need it. We don't want it. We don't need it. Okay.
Friendly voice. Oh, peace to thine ashes, Prokofy Osipich. Rest, honest, noble toiler. Zaboykin continued while his listeners began whispering together.
There's an artifact there. You guys might not be able to hear this. Hey, I see that there's a second person in the chat. The first person in the chat is me. So if you are the second person in the chat, feel free to say hi. I do keep talking to my sons because this is their channel. It's for them. But you're most welcome to have a chat. So feel free to say hi and just, all that stuff. Actually, my wife was listening to the live stream last night until the microphone mucked up. So that could be you again, my love. Welcome.
Zaboykin continued while his...
I'll be in bed soon.
Zaboykin continued while his listeners began whispering together. His speech pleased everyone and drew some tears. But a good many things in it seemed strange. In the first place, they could not make out why the orator called the deceased Prokofy Osipich.
Hot.
When
35.
his name was Kirill Ivanovich.
Ivanovich.
In the second, everyone knew that the deceased had spent...
It's 33
Zaboykin-
degrees. It's 33 degrees.
and so consequently would...
Hang on.
when his name was...
There's so many artifacts here. And, I shouldn't even care. A lot of them are just breathing. But because some of them are from punch and roll, cutting in from re-records, it's just safer to get rid of them sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And if in doubt, cut it out.
when his name was Kirill Ivanovich. In the second, everyone knew that the deceased had spent his whole life quarreling with his lawful wife, and so consequently would not be called a bachelor. In the third, he had a thick red beard, and had never been known to shave, and so no one could understand why the orator spoke of his shaven face. The listeners were perplexed. They glanced at each other and shrugged their shoulders. Prokofy Osipich, continued the orator, looking with an air of inspiration into the grave. Your face was plain, even hideous. You were morose and austere. But we all know that
It's just so
under
mean.
that outer husk, there beat an honest, friendly heart.
I've clipped it completely, I've overpowered the mic there. That's not nice. Listen to this.
Friendly heart.
Friendly hard. I'm just going to leave it because it gets the mood across really well, so I'm just going to leave that.
Soon the listeners began to observe something strange in the orator himself. He gazed at one point, shifted about uneasily, and began to shrug his shoulders too. All at once, he ceased speaking, and gaping with astonishment. Speaking.
There we go.
And gaping with astonishment turned to Poplavsky. I say, he's alive, he said, staring with horror. Who's alive? Why, Prokofy Osipich, there he stands by that tombstone. He never died. It's Kirill Ivanovich who's dead. But you...
The pause is not great. The clipping is not great. I wish I hadn't have yelled into the microphone now, but I really don't want to go back and fix it. It gets the point across.
He never died. It's Kirill Ivanovich who's dead. But you told me yourself your secretary was dead. Kirill Ivanovich was our secretary. Oh, you've muddled it, you queer fish. Prokofy Osipich was our secretary before. That's true, but 2 years ago he was transferred to the 2nd Division as head clerk. How the devil is one to tell? Why are you stopping? Go on. It's awkward. Zapoikin turned to the grave, and with the same eloquence, continued his interrupted speech. Prokofy Osipich, an old clerk with a clean-shaven face, was in fact standing by a tombstone. He looked at the orator and frowned angrily. "Well, you have put your foot into it, haven't you?" laughed his fellow clerks as they returned from the funeral with Zapoikin. "Burying a man alive? It's unpleasant, young man," grumbled Prokofy Osipich. "Your speech may be all right for a dead man, but in reference to a living one, it is nothing but sarcasm. Upon my soul, what have you been saying? Disinterested, incorruptible, won't take bribes? Such things can only be said of the living in sarcasm. And no one asked you, sir, to expatiate on my face. Plain, hideous, so be it. But why exhibit my countenance in that public way? It's insulting."
Okay, so the obvious issue here is that I've clipped the crap out of the mic, so I've just yelled into the microphone like I did I've overpowered it a bit there too. Sorry about that, by the way. I should warn you when I'm going to do stuff like that. It's not great. It feels very homespun. You know, I am at home technically, even though I'm in the booth. But, so it is a bit worrying.
Why exhibit my countenance in that public way? It's insulting.
I am going to leave it because, like I said, I think it actually gets the mood across pretty well, and it has a bit more of an old school vibe to it.
The end. And boys, that's exactly why you need to get your story straight before you get up to speak. There's not much hidden message in this. It's pretty clear. Oh man, that is so funny. Boys, I hope you had as good a time listening to that as I did reading it, and I've had an amazing time discovering it at the same time that you have as well. I'd never read that before. In fact, a lot of the text that we read here on the channel, this is my first pass at them. So I get to experience them at the same time you do. I hope you like that. Love you, boys. So much.
Okay, sweet. So, save that. Saved. Export it because, I mean, you can't see what I can see, but the entire Audacity... Oh, wait, no, you can. Can you see how blacked out it is? Yeah, it's not looking great. It's not supposed to have all these bits up here. They're not supposed to look like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly export before it decides to shut itself down again. So I'm exporting it into here. Okay, yep. Turn it into a mono file instead of a stereo file, and that way it doesn't sound like there's a left and a right direction. It's all just coming straight at you through both headphones. If you're listening to it on headphones, which is what we, expect most people will be doing. They'll be listening to it on headphones. They might be watching it on their TV, though. That's interesting. It has 48 seconds left. While that's starting, I will get this up, and you should be able to see this now, too. So, can you see this? Yes, you can. Right. So I'm going to just pop this here. Oh, and that was my test from before. Rub that out. Right. I don't think that matters. Okay, right. We're going to go here to the pencil, go here to the calligraphy brush, and go to 15 point. Now's the bit where we have to start getting creative, because we're going to have to find a quote that sums this up and we'll get the clicks, Of course, this YouTube channel is going to take off and go viral, obviously. No, obviously I don't care about that. Like, the main mission of this channel is to get recordings on the YouTube channel of my voice and me doing this stuff with you, for you, so you can watch it and listen to it whenever. But If it ever did get monetized, then that would be awesome. And what I would do with that money is it would just go straight towards you, as in I would just put it away and it would be your money. Right, so we're trying to get the clicks we need. We need a quote. Give me a viral quote from this story. There are quite a lot. Let's just have a little look up. I was glad with how long I had to take to find a good quote last night. It was a good quote in the end. What was it? Get me my will, which I thought was pretty funny. It kind of sums it up, like the nagginess of it. It's good. Okay, that's finished exporting, so I'm going to quickly open up the video editing software, and I'm going to just quickly make a little movie out of that. And like I said last night, I'm sick of making HD content that's a black screen with audio. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to upload it as like 480p or 720p. It's a black screen. Surely people don't care. Whether or not it makes YouTube recommend it less, I mean, whatever, that seems like a YouTube's problem, not us. So, The Orator, raw. Uh-oh, whoops, I think I just opened it accidentally. Okay, here we go. Okay, I've dragged that onto that timeline. Let's listen.
Welcome back to Boring Dad Sleep Stories.
And the end.
You have as well. I'd never read that before.
Cool. We're going to export it. It's called The Orator. Cool. 720p, why not? That's a nice size. It's only 421 megabytes that way, which means I don't have to spend too much of my hard drive space, which I don't have much. So, rightio. While that's happening, I've got a little while to find a quote and get it onto this Microsoft Paint tablet, through this thing here, with this pen here, or stylus, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to write the quote and turn that into a thumbnail. So, I want something kind of it has like a curiosity to it. So it makes you curious, and then your eyes will travel from the thumbnail to the title. That's the theory that I'm going with. All right, so... Okay. He always speaks eloquently and at great length. I have come for you, old man, is a great quote, but I don't think that gets across the message. I could put you are our only hope, but I feel like I'd get a whole bunch of Star Wars fans who'd just be disappointed. So I don't want to disappoint people. That would be no good. I could put the Latin aut motui nihil bene. That's kind of fun. What if I just said, like, I say, he's alive? What about you've muddled it, you queer fish? What about... Well, you have put your foot into it, haven't you? No, I want it to be like, burying a man alive. What about that? 1, 2, 3, 4 words. I want it to be no more than 5. 3 would be good. He never died. What about that? Just like, he never died. I say, he's alive. What about that? Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, why not? I say, exclamation mark,
Welcome back
he's
to
alive.
Boring
Oh,
Man's Sleep Story.
there's the video finished, which means now it's time to start uploading the actual video. You're not getting to see that. Sorry. Right. Okay. Here we go. Create. Upload video. And select a file. Videos. And we'll go into Boring Dad Sleep Stories, the Orator. There we go. That's uploading as we speak, so now we can focus on the paint thing again. What was it? I say, he's alive. Let's do that. So I'm just going to zoom out a bit. Can you guys see that? You got that, boys? All right. Yes, you got that. Okay, so I'm just going to practice a little bit. I say, he's alive. All right. Oh, it's a tiny bit of the tablet. Okay, cool. Okay. Oh, it's the wrong color. Okay. What if I do this now? Is that the right color? Yep, okay, cool. Okay. No, wait, it's not a capital S. Come on. I say. I get really picky about this kind of stuff. I say. What is that? It's hard to write on this tablet. Okay, just give me a break. I say. The thing is, I can't see my face, but I'm probably looking like a constipated nugget. I'm not used to writing this neatly, and this isn't even neat. Oh wait, no, there's no exclamation mark there, is there? So we can't do that. But I do want to put an exclamation mark there. Oh, do I have the credibility to put the... Because it... Yeah, I'm going to put an exclamation mark there. Why not? I say, he's alive. Okay, cool. Now, here's the trick you guys don't get to see usually, which is I put these two quotation marks here. I do make them from scratch. This is all organic, right? But these now, if I do the same up here, then the problem is that because it's a... See how it makes them look all munted? Because it's a what do you call it? A calligraphy pen / brush. I like the look of these ones. I like this. I like this. So I just literally copy and paste these ones and then flip them and then turn them into the start quotation marks. Because I can, all right? Okay, so we're going to right click and we're going to copy and paste. We're going to flip it. All right, and now my next problem is, okay, I'm going to put that there. I have to move this entire thing down to here. Okay, then I have to move this guy up here. Oh, gosh. Whoopsie doopsie. Up to here. Yeah, that'll do. Yep. I don't know. It'll be fine. I'm so doubtful of this, this new type of thumbnail, pulling in any clicks. But I don't really. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just having a bit of fun with it. So, what's this one? The Orator. Okay, the Orator. Save it as a PNG. Now, this bit you are not getting to see because confidential stuff. So, I'm going to make this into a thumbnail really quickly with Canva. I think I'm only a couple of thumbnails away from just deciding to do this all in Paint. I think I can totally do this in Paint. You know what I mean? It's a simple design. And I would love to get off Canva because it's a subscription I don't want anymore. I mean, who can afford subscriptions these days? So, okay, now that that's there, we're going to get that picture. I say, he's alive. There we go. We pop that up onto our thumbnail, which you guys can't see, obviously. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to make it nice and big and juicy so everyone can see it. Cool. And then I'm going to put in a background that I like, that I've used previously, and I'm going to rotate that 90 degrees. It's like a parchment-looking background, which you guys obviously can't see. Alrighty. And there we go. I'm going to move that to the back so I can see the writing in front of it, and now I need to get the background away from the writing because it's on a white background from Microsoft Paint. Alrighty. Yep, cool. I'm going to download that. There's our thumbnail. Right, which means we can now quit the video editing program. Alright. And download that. The Orator. Who's it by again? Is it Anton Chekhov again? Who is it? Huh? Who is it? Google Translate. Anton Chekhov. Yeah. Here it is. Okay. The Orator. Anton Chekhov. Okay. Wait, take away the C. It's just Chekhov, right? Yeah, Chekhov. Okay, right. Yep, cool. We're going to reuse some of the details. I just don't have it in me not to. Alright, okay. Except for the title, everything else gets reused. Alright, okay, reuse. I'm going to change some of those. Oh yeah, obviously we're going to upload our thumbnail. This is all the boring stuff on the back end, the packaging. I think they call it packaging. And the quote is there on the thumbnail saying, I say he's alive, which is fun. I don't know if it'll... As long as it's memorable for you guys. Okay, allow chapters, don't allow places. We're going to get rid of some of these tags. The Kurt Vonnegut stuff from yesterday. We're going to put in Anton Chekhov. Chekhov and Anton Chekhov audiobook and the Orator and just the Orator. Okay. Cool. Right. So, allow embedding, allow others. Don't allow remixing. No, thank you. We'll add an end screen. Why not? Best for viewer. So when you get to the end of that video, it'll suggest another one from the channel. So you can keep on binging Dad's content. Okay, cool. Gonna make it public. It's past the checks, so no copyright issues. Where's my stylus gone? Oh, it's on my... Here it is. Okay, and just like that, I think it's uploaded. Just like that. Should be on the channel now. Okay, right. Without further ado, I'm just gonna go. Because, like, I'm pretty much done, guys. So, this has been fun. Let's do it another time. Peace, boys. Love you. Remember, if you're going to speak at someone's funeral, make sure you're speaking about the right person. Always leave a little salt on the bread. And if you're at dinner, if you've been invited to dinner and you don't know what's on the menu, you're the one that's going to be consumed. Love you.